Programs normally seen at this time will not be presented tonight, so that we may bring you the NBA All-Star Game live and in color from Baltimore, Maryland.
From the Civic Center in Baltimore, Maryland, ABC Sports continues its full-color coverage of NBA professional basketball action. Tonight, top players from around the country are here in Baltimore as the East meets the West in the 19th annual NBA All-Star Game. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Wait till your face gets a taste of it. By the makers of the 1969 Buick Riviera, an elegant personal answer to the question, wouldn't you really rather have a Buick? And by the cigar made with 4 Latin American tobaccos, Dutch Masters. You get a Latin American tour in every cigar. Yes, we're here in the Monument City, as often called, the city with the white marble steps, Baltimore, Maryland, as a record crowd of 12,621 are here to see the greatest basketball players in the world competing in this annual classic, the showcase of the stars, and it also indicates mid-season of the NBA season. While Baltimore is slowly getting over the shock of the Colts' loss on Sunday afternoon, the Bullets lead the Eastern Division of the NBA, and their president, Abe Pollin, is here with me to extend to all of you, wherever you are, a greeting from this very warm, hospitable city. Abe?
Well, thank you, Chris. We are very honored that the NBA game is here this year, and we're very, very happy that the Bullets, of course, are in first place, and it just is a very, very exciting evening, and we're very proud to be host of this great classic.
Thank you so much, Abe. Abe Pollin, president of the Bullets. Now, the commissioner of the National Basketball Association is here, as all the owners of the clubs have been having meetings, and he, of course, presides over them. J. Walter Kennedy, the commissioner, we're glad to have you in Baltimore, Walter.
Chris, we're delighted again to have our All-Star game, which, of course, is our great showcase every year on ABC from coast to coast. Our 5th year of ABC telecasting from coast to coast. This figures to be a real good ball game, as all of our games are, these All-Star Classics. So we're delighted that this tremendous crowd and great audience throughout the country is going to have an opportunity to see what we think are the greatest basketball players in the game.
Of course, we're proud to be doing it on television, and I guess, Walter, each year you shift the site for the All-Star Classic.
Yes, last year, of course, it was in New York. This year here in Baltimore. Next year in Philadelphia. And then the following year, it'll be in San Diego. So we move around our 14 franchises pretty well.
Along with all our viewers, Walter, enjoy the game.
Thank you, Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having the tap-off, the center jump here momentarily. And tonight on the American Broadcasting Company, ABC Television, at 9 o'clock, we will go to Washington for live coverage of President Johnson's State of the Union address. With this reminder that following his address, we'll return to the Civic Center here in Baltimore, Maryland, live and in color, to bring you the entire second half of action, along with videotape highlights of what happened while we were gone. Yes, the NBA All-Star Game, 24 of the finest players in the world. The winners, $500, the losers, $300, but more important, to have been named, to have been chosen by the press to represent the East as an All-Star, or the West as the finest in that division, is perhaps a much greater honor than the money that will be awarded to the winner and loser tonight. The Most Valuable Player Award is at stake also. And, of course, last year it was won by Hal Greer of the Philadelphia 76ers, who will again see action here tonight. We'll return to Civic Center in Baltimore, Maryland, following this message.
This man is going on a Latin American tour. You see, in every Dutch Master cigar are 4 tobaccos from Latin America, where tobacco growing is an art. First stop, Brazil, and flavorful Fina Brazilian tobaccos. Magnifico. Next, Santo Domingo. There, Dutch Masters buys the passionately mild Banao tobacco. And on to Colombia. In Colombia, cigar tobacco is rich, smooth, exciting. Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, lively, lovely tobacco. We pay more for these 4 great tobaccos. That's one reason Dutch Master Cigars costs a little more. Enjoy one. You get a Latin American tour in every Dutch Master cigar.
Live and in color at Civic Center in Baltimore, Maryland. We're here, a capacity crowd, a record crowd. In the center circle, a 6-time All-Star, a great scorer in the NBA, my colleague, Jack Twyman.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 19th annual NBA All-Star Game. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the greatest basketball players in the world. Starting with the Western Division All-Stars, playing in his first All-Star game, the leading scorer of the Atlanta Hawks, at 6'6", 220 pounds, Lou Hudson. His 4th year in the NBA, first time playing in the All-Star game. At 6'5", 210 pounds, from the Phoenix Suns, Dick Van Arsdale. This 10-year veteran is playing in his 5th All-Star game. At forward, at 6'8", 220 pounds, from the San Francisco Warriors, Rudy LaRusso. The NBA's all-time leading scorer with only over 26,000 points. The leading rebounder in the league, averaging 20 rebounds a game at 7'1", 275 pounds, from the Los Angeles Lakers, Wilt Chamberlain. Playing in his first All-Star game, one of the great jumpers in the NBA. Standing 6'5", 210 pounds, from the Atlanta Hawks, Joe Caldwell. An outstanding guard for the San Francisco Warriors, playing in his first All-Star game. At 6'4", 200 pounds, Jeff Mullins. The leading scorer of the Phoenix Suns, playing in his first All-Star game. At 6'3", 195, Gail Goodrich. And now the starting Western Division All-Stars. The defensive ace of the Chicago Bulls, playing backcourt, and in his second All-Star appearance at 6'5", 200 pounds, Jerry Sloan. Playing in his 6th All-Star game, one of the most respected defensive guards in the game. At 6'1", 185, from the Seattle Supersonics, Lenny Wilkins. The leading scorer in the NBA with over 30 points a game. Last year, the College Player of the Year. A great all-around performer at 6'9", 235 pounds, from San Diego, Elvin Hayes. His teammate on the San Diego Rockets at forward, his 6th year in the NBA, playing in his second All-Star game at 6'6", 220 pounds, Don Kojas. And the second leading scorer in NBA history with over 20,000 points, playing in his 10th All-Star game. The second leading scorer in All-Star competition, the captain of the Lakers, Elgin Baylor. And the coach of the year last year, played 11 years in the NBA, 6 times in the All-Star game. The coach of the Atlanta Hawks, Richie Guerin. The Western Division All-Star. And now the Eastern Division All-Stars. Playing in his first game at 6'5", 205 pounds, averaging 19 points a game for the Milwaukee Bucks, John McLaughlin. Playing in his second All-Star game, the league's top scorer last year at 6'3", 180, from the Detroit Pistons, Dave Bing. Playing in his first All-Star game, Philadelphia's leading scorer, 6'7", 220 pounds, Billy Cunningham. His fifth All-Star game, captain of the New York Knickerbockers at 6'10", 240 pounds, Willis Reed. Last year's most valuable player in this game, his ninth All-Star game, at 6'2", 180 from the Philadelphia 76ers, Hal Greer. His third All-Star game at forward, standing 6'6", weighing 230, from the Baltimore Bullets, Gus Johnson. One of the two rookies in this year's game, a strong contender for Rookie of the Year honor. At 6'8", 245, from the Bullets, Wesley Unseld. And now the starting team. The sixth time in this All-Star game, six-year veteran, Rookie of the Year in 1964, most valuable player in 65. At 6'8", 230 from the Cincinnati Royals, Jerry Lucas. His running mate at forward. His fourth All-Star game, captain of the Boston Celtics, playing as a forward tonight, but plays both forward and guard. At 6'5", 205, John Havlicek. His 12th All-Star game. This fellow has led the Boston Celtics to 10 championships in the last 12 years. In his third year as player coach of the Boston Celtics, at 6'10", 225, Bill Russell. His ninth All-Star game. The only player to have been named most valuable player in this game twice. The number 2 scorer in the NBA at 6'5", 220 pounds, from the Cincinnati Royals, Oscar Robertson. And last year's Rookie of the Year, playing in his first All-Star game, the third leading scorer in the NBA, from the Baltimore Bullets, Earl Monroe. And the coach of the Eastern Division All-Stars, a 10-year veteran in the NBA. 5 times he played in this game. From the Baltimore Bullets, Gene Hughes.
And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, excitement galore here in Baltimore, Maryland. We'll return to the Civic Center for the tap-off following this important message.
It's as fine of a car as I've ever been in, bar none.
The Peter Czechs, Westmont, Illinois, talk about their 1969 Buick Riviera.
Our Riviera just rides like a dream. There's some pretty rough roads in the construction area here, but this car makes a gentle road out of a rough road. The ride of the car has got to be due to the new suspension. I think they call it AccuDrive or something like that.
Oh, yes. This new suspension system will give me much more control of the car.
I feel safer about the little guy's safety in the back seat. Every day I get in it, I get a little kick out of something. Even the ashtrays are great in this car.
Buick owners keep selling Buicks for us. Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
A high shot of Civic Center, the playing court. The two officials. Tonight, Norman Drucker and Joe Gachou, two of the veteran NBA officials in the team of 17 officials that have the very difficult job of keeping these games under control. In the series, the East has won 12, the West has won 6. And there you see the players. If you're watching in color, the West in red with white, the East All-Stars in white with dark blue trim. The center jump now, we have Bill Russell on the right, and number 11, Elvin Hayes, the rookie.
That's going to be quite a battle, Chris. It's going to be interesting to see Bill Russell, the veteran, against Elvin Hayes, the rookie, both playing center.
Well, Hayes won the battle. However, the ball was stolen by many-time All-Pro Oscar Robertson, who has the ball right now of the Cincinnati Royals, number 14. Lead pass to Russell into the basket. And it's retrieved by Jerry Sloan of the Chicago Bulls. Quickly over to Lenny Wilkins. Wilkins driving hard into the corner. His hook shot is short. And there's the type of shot that Elvin Hayes, he loves to stuff him.
And with Lenny Wilkins in that backcourt to feed him, we might see some interesting moves on the part of Hayes tonight, Chris.
Earl LaFleur, Monroe of the Baltimore Bullets, and he is deadly from outside. So the game is tied up 2 points apiece. Lenny Wilkins bouncing into Hayes. Hayes over on the far side to the great star from the Los Angeles Lakers. Baylor. Baylor to Sloan, back to Baylor. Baylor to Hayes. Practically handing the ball back to Baylor as Russell comes out, knocks the ball away, and it's stolen by Monroe. These are the Eastern All-Stars. Oscar Robertson, number 14, tie score. Jerry Lucas.
Basket tapped in by Jerry Lucas, number 16. And you notice, Chris, Bill Russell is coming out on Elvin Hayes, so he respects his outside shot. Earl Monroe with an interception.
Hayes losing the ball to Monroe, a bounce pass to Russell. Hit the leg, goes out of bounds. So the Western All-Stars take over, and they include Jerry Sloan. Now it's Len Wilkins, Elgin Baylor, Elvin Hayes, and Don Kogis. Setting up defensively now, that's Oscar Robertson guarding Sloan on the far side here at Civic Center in Baltimore. The East leads 4-2. Baylor. The screen by Hayes. To Kogis. Beautiful. Tie ball game at 4 points apiece. Lead pass to Monroe from Robertson. Saved at the line, but stolen by Sloan. Sloan of the West. 4-4. Bill Russell seems everywhere tonight defensively, and that's the story of his basketball life. Great defensive stars. Hayes, who leads the league in scoring with over 30 points, misses. Russell on the rebound to Oscar Robertson.
Chris, these fellows are charged up for this game. There's a lot of pride on the line, and you can see Bill Russell 12 times in this game. He's out switching, picking up men. Jerry Lucas shoots one from outside.
Monroe has 4 points of the 6 for the Eastern All-Stars. The East favored to win this ball game. Now the West has the ball. The West coached by Richie Guerin. Monroe commits the first foul in the ball game. And with 9 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first quarter, we have a timeout. We'll return with this reminder that the East leads the West in this showcase of stars 6-4.
At a gay 90s football game, you could have a picnic right on the 50-yard line with Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Ah, those were the days. Good beer and good sport. Original Pabst Blue Ribbon is still brewed today the old-time premium way to give you good old-time beer flavor. We know enough to leave a good thing alone. Original Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, brewed by the first of the great Milwaukee brewers.
Nine minutes, 36 seconds remaining in the first quarter of the 19th annual NBA All-Star Game, with the East in the lead by a score of 6-4. At 9 o'clock, we go to Washington to bring you live President Johnson's State of the Union address, to return here to bring you the entire second half live and in color. Foul shot is missed as Jerry Lucas rebounds, gives to his teammate of the Cincinnati Royals, Oscar Robertson, number 14.
Chris, there we saw the advantage the East has in this game. With Lucas and Russell inside, they enjoy a height advantage, and as a result of that height advantage, are favored. So the West will have to counteract the rebounding of the East.
And the foul is committed by Don Kogis, and the Boston Celtics' John Havlicek goes to the line, number 17. His other Eastern teammates include Jerry Lucas, Earl Monroe, Bill Russell, and Oscar Robertson. What a quintet. Now for the West, Jerry Sloan. It's 7-4. The East is in the lead. Don Kogis now with the ball. West in red if you're watching in color. John McLaughlin travels, or rather Jerry Sloan travels, excuse me.
Chris, we mentioned Russell and Hayes, but we have quite a battle going on between Havlicek and Baylor. Havlicek guarding Baylor and playing him very tight.
There you've got a good example of just how quick these pros' hands are. Lenny Wilkins knocking it out of bounds. Monroe passing it into number 6, Russell. 10 is Earl the Pearl, Monroe. Defensively, it was Jerry Sloan who was there, but he commits the foul. Jerry Sloan of the West All-Stars, his first. In slow motion.
There's Earl Monroe driving through, and Sloan going up and getting the ball, but getting Monroe with his body, as you see there.
Monroe has 4 of the 7 points for the East All-Stars. Tapping the ball over to Norm Drucker, one of the 2 officials here tonight. And he has 5 of the 8 now, Earl Monroe. And here is lefty Lenny Wilkins, number 19. Gets a screen from number 11, Hayes, gives to him. Beautiful play. Right through the lane, Elvin Hayes. It's now 8-6, Bill Russell. Gives to Monroe, who comes into the offensive zone for the East. East in the white uniforms. Russell coming out now. Practically pushed out by Hayes. Down in the corner, Robertson. Russell. Back to Robertson. It's like they played together for years and years, Jack.
Once these fellas get on the floor, they know each other's moves pretty well. They play against one another 8 times during the year. So.
San Diego's Don Kogis has his shot rebounded by Havlicek. Havlicek to Monroe. Monroe to Robertson on a dip pass. Knocked away. That was a beautiful defensive play by Elvin Hayes. Lenny Wilkins. Sloan to Kogis. Lucas out of bounds.
Chris, that play by Hayes as he came down and blocked the drive on defense reminds me of seeing Elvin Hayes and Bill Russell at dinner last night. It was kind of the teacher against the student, and Hayes was taking everything Russell was saying in.
Elgin Baylor to number 4, Sloan. Robertson on the rebound. Joe Kashu spots an infraction. Under the West basket, foul is on Jerry Lucas. That is his first. And it looks like Don Kogis will go to the foul line to shoot. Don Kogis, 6'6", 215, graduate of Marquette from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, playing with the San Diego Records. And he has numerous records at his college or university, Marquette. Fine young man, Jack.
He's having a fine year. He's averaging 22 points a game for the Rockets and really giving them a big lift at forward.
Look at those hands. Oscar Robertson to Monroe. Back to Lucas. To Havlicek. Rebounding was Sloan. Havlicek trying to steal it as the East is in the lead 10-6 with 7:52 remaining in the first quarter. What a game.
And that's what they want to do. Bill Russell getting the rebound, getting it out to Oscar, and John Havlicek and Jerry Lucas getting down on that fast break.
Now you're looking at Lenny Wilkins. Ooh, right off the rim. Oh, Bill Russell goes up.
And of course, Chris, that is an infraction. You are not allowed to touch the ball when it's on the rim or in the sphere of the rim. So that's offensive goaltending, and the basket was good.
And Seattle's Lenny Wilkins gets 2. It's 10-8 now with 7:34 left in the first quarter. That's Havlicek, number 17. Back to Russell.
2 Celtics working an old Boston Celtic play.
Knocking the ball away was Robertson from behind, safe by Monroe. Then knocked away by Kogis, but taken by Robertson. Oscar Robertson, the big O. Wilkins. The East ball. 7:14 left in the first quarter here at Civic Center. Nearly 13,000 watching as we have a timeout. And the East is in the lead over the West by a score of 12-8. We'll return in a moment.
Next time there's a job to do, use the right tool. Skill Power tools make it easy. Next time there's a job to do, use the right tool. Skill Power tools make it easy.
Basketball fans come in all ages, and this youngster, that has a double meaning, the Super Sunday, I know, because of the Baltimore Colts and the fact that the NBA Game of the Week is regularly on Sunday afternoon on ABC, and of course it's Super Tuesday now, the East-West All-Star Game from Baltimore. John Havlicek of the East. Shot is rebounded, batted back to Earl Monroe of the Bullets. And let's see who last touched it. Across the end line at the In line, the offensive zone of the East. Here's an inbounds play. 12-8, the East leading. Coming back out to Havlicek, guarded by Jerry Sloan. Monroe. Change of pace, dribbler. And you saw what the great moves will do. They'll draw a foul, and for Len Wilkins, this is his first.
And there is what makes Earl Monroe the great player that he is. He has great body control, much like Elgin Baylor, Chris, but he also has great control of the ball while he is on the move. And in that instance, he drew the foul and made the first foul shot.
Monroe now with 6 points, 6 of the 13, 7 of the 14. With 6:58 left in the first quarter, the East now enjoying a 6-point lead. They won the ball game last year, 144 to 124. Previous year, the West was victorious in the All-Star game as Hayes misjudged Baylor's moves. Robertson at the line, batting it back in. Lucas gets it. Now to Havlicek. And Jerry Sloan tried to tie up Havlicek. Too strong. Len Wilkins steals it. Sloan cannot save it. And along newspaper row and television row, a loose ball as Monroe now is ready to pass it in. There have been a total of 8 turnovers, 4 for each team thus far in the ball game. Saved by Havlicek, batted around. Len Wilkins, guarded by Bill Russell. Of the Bulls, Chicago, Jerry Sloan.
And the West is playing a very aggressive defense, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to force the East into making some miscues. With a backcourt like Robertson and Monroe, they're going to have to put a lot of pressure on trying to make them start their offense out a little further.
East leading 14-10. Havlicek, 16-10 for the East. The Boston Celtics, Hondo Havlicek. Soon we will be going to Washington for live coverage of President Johnson's State of the Union address, but we would like to point out and invite you to listen to President Johnson. Stay tuned, because immediately following, we will be bringing you live and in color from the Civic Center in Baltimore, Maryland, the second half of action in the NBA All-Star game. Elgin Baylor. And coming off the board was Jerry Lucas. Lucas to Robertson. Robertson is fouled as he goes up. The basket counts. He will go to the line with 5:46 remaining in the first period of play. We have a timeout here at Civic Center. We'll return after this message.
Time is called East.
Give me a dozen lemon limes.
What?
Lemon limes.
Look, I can give you lemons or limes, but there's no such thing as a lemon lime.
No? Well, what do you call this? Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Oh, smell it. It's not sweet like plain lime. The lemon keeps it tangy. See that? Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Now could you give me a dozen lemon limes?
Sure, mister. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We take you to the edge of a fantastic razor blade, the Gillette Spoiler.
Baked onto the edge here is a miracle plastic coating that reduces the pull to a fraction. Every time you shave, you wear off a little of the coating. But after many shaves, the edge of cold steel doesn't touch your face.
Gillette Super Stainless.
Jack, what about that last foul here in Baltimore?
Here we have Oscar Robertson, Chris, driving on Elvin Hayes. Elvin Hayes, number 11. There you see Robertson with the good control. Hayes going up, but gets him on the arm. And Oscar using the body superbly to force the foul on Elvin Hayes. Great shot of Oscar Robertson. The ball went through the basket, and Hayes was charged with a foul.
At the moment it is East 18, the West 10. Robertson has 4 points. Don't forget, we will be returning to Civic Center to bring you the entire second half, live and in color, of the NBA All-Star Game following President Johnson's State of the Union address. More basketball on America's #1 sports network, unquestionably. Knocked out of bounds by Big Bill Russell. 19-10 with 5:35 remaining in the first quarter. Now let's go to Washington, D.C. for ABC's news coverage of the President Johnson State of the Union message.
19, Honey Wilkins. Hudson. Number 13, Wilt Gentleman.
Go back there.
I've destroyed by number 23, Bill Hudson. For the ace, number 32, Bill Cunningham. Number 16, Jerry Lucas. Dave Finn for Earl Monroe.
All right, here we go.
Bill Russell, one to go.
One. Go. And one. Hold. Yours all alone. Out. Hold. Okay.
Foul is on number 17, John Havlicek. Is his second, is the fourth of the East. Elgin Baylor on the line for one.
good, Elvin.
Wait, hit the ball! Red ball! Elgin!
What's that?
All right, good.
Nick.
22, Elgin Baylor.
Here we go. Ball. What? Hey, what? Out of hole.
Goal, Oscar. Less than 2 minutes, less than 2, time is called play. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's official attendance is 12,348. Stage number 15, Harold Fair for Oscar Robertson.
What's up? Oh.
On 23, Lou Hudson.
Okay. What? Ball. One, on the hole.
You are alone. That's been scored by 41 West Hunsell.
Whoa.
What do you want? On the hole?
Foul on 41 West Hunsell. This is his first. It's the fifth for the East. For the East, number 25, Gus Johnson to John Havlicek. Luke Chamberlain is on the line. 1.
What?
Rudy LaRusso, Elgin Baylor for the West. into the first period of play in the All-Star game. 8:45 West, 19. Basket scored by number 24, Jeff Mullins. Lou Hudson. Joe Caldwell. A basket scored by Bill Cunningham.
One, in the hole.
Foul is on number 25, Gus Johnson. It is his first, and it's the first for the East in the second period. On the line, number 27, Joe Caldwell.
One. Hey, one.
Forward, number 5, kick. 27, Joe Caldwell. Joe Caldwell. Foul is on number 35, Rudy LaRusso. Time is called east. Entering the game for the East squad for the first time tonight is number 18, John McLaughlin, Milwaukee.
I got a player now.
Gus Johnson's on the line. He'll have two. Captain by number 35, Rudy LaRusso. High King and Bullet Green. Pick right. Ball. Jeff Mullins. Pass is scored by number 32, Bill Cunningham. Pass is scored by Van Arsdale. A 5.
One and a hole.
The ace, Merlin Rowe, number 10. McCain James, number 21. 46 is Neil Goodrich. Timeout, West. By 4, Jeff Mullen. Foul is on number 32, Bill Cunningham. Hayes for Chamberlain for the West, Lucas for Cunningham, Lee, Dale Goodrich is on the line, 1. Turning to the East squad, number 17, John Havlicek for 25, Gus Johnson.
And
Hi, Texas, Van Arsdale. Foul on number 35, Rudy LaRusso. It's his second. It is the second for the West. Oscar Robertson, placing number 18. so the West.
All right, here we go. One shot.
Gail Goodrich.
Hey, go ahead, let him go. Yep, it goes.
Foul on number 24, Jeff Mullins, which is first, is the third from West. Starting from the east, number 6, Bill Russell. 19, Willis Reed. Earl Pachuk. Time east.
One left. Here we go.
Foul on number 14, Austin Robertson, is the second, is the third from the east. Gail Goodrich is on the line, he'll have one. Lemon, Albert Pete. Foul on number 10, Irwin Rowe. It is his second. It is the fourth for the East. Honey Wilkins, number 19, on the line, and he'll have two. the 2, West the 2.
Traffic goes through.
Foul is on number 19, Lenny Wilkins. It's his second, and it's the fifth for West. Earl Monroe, 2. One to go. Time is called. West. Foul on number 11, Alvin Hayes. Bonus. That is Alvin's second. Jerry Lucas is on the line. 1 and 1. Bonus shot. Walking. Foul is on number 22, Elgin Baylor. It is his first. Bonus for 16, Jerry Lucas. Offensive foul is on number 10, Earl Monroe. His third. Foul on number 60, Jerry Lucas. It's his second. Fifth, the East. Elgin Baylor. Milwaukee. At halftime, ladies and gentlemen, the East 60, West 23.
Yes, hello. There they go. Chet, how have you enjoyed the rest?
They've probably been working out there, haven't they?
Hey, where's Rune?
Chris and Bud.
Chris and Jack. Cracker Jack. How soon is he going to throw it back to old Chris?
Is he still on, LBJ?
Look at this. They hitch up those, what does the shoe indicate?
Beta bullets.
Huh?
Beta bullet.
Hello.
Chris Bud.
Hello,
this is
Chet,
basketball.
Baby. Yeah. Right. 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 You know, Jack, what we can do is treat it as past tense, too.
Yeah.
What?
Practice the commentaries.
Here at halftime, the East leading the West 60-53, but early in the second quarter, the East had a 10-point margin, 39-29. As we get a look at Baltimore's popular Gus Johnson, who came into the lineup as both coaches used their entire roster of 12 players throughout this first half. It's Johnson going to the foul line, Big Jack.
And coming back, Chris, the West, utilizing the rebounding of Will Chamberlain, getting the ball out on the fast break, and Gus Johnson and his teammates coming back to within 10. There's Gus on the...
Yeah, but do you want to do, you don't want to make it as present tense, do you? All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is the West team, and that was Dick Van Arsdale, who had his shot rebounded beautifully by Rudy LaRusso, as we have the Eastern All-Stars now coming into the offensive zone. Dave Bing and Willis Reed combining. And the Knickerbocker.
Dave Bing, this is Bing's first time in the lineup. He has been injured, but he's trying that game leg of his and seems to be moving very well, Chris.
This is videotape of action in the second quarter of the All-Star game as Will Chamberlain gives down in the corner to Rudy LaRusso. Batted away by, it looked like McLaughlin, to Dave Bing. Bing fakes to Johnson, gives to Reed for 2 for the East. At the end of the first quarter, the East led 35-19, leading by 16 points, but the West is bouncing back here in the second quarter.
Jeff Mullins, a great outside shooter, pulling the defense out so that it can open it up inside a little bit for Will Chamberlain and Elvin Hayes.
This is Billy Cunningham, the 76ers, whom we'll see on Sunday afternoon in the game of the week, as the 76ers will host the San Francisco Warriors. So the West now has the ball, as you see, trailing by 13 points at about the midpoint of the second quarter in Baltimore. Van Arsdale of the Phoenix Suns to Chamberlain of the Lakers. Back to Van Arsdale and Mullins. Cunningham on the rebound, stolen by Big Wilt. LaRusso. Way outside to Joe Caldwell. Nice lead pass to LaRusso, and what a job of blocking a shot by Cunningham.
Here's Will Chamberlain coming up with another rebound. It has been his rebounding in the second quarter that has brought the West back, as we see him go in on a layup over Gus Johnson.
Dave Bing. Beating McLaughlin, former star of Indiana University. And also from the same university, Dick Van Arsdale.
There's an example of what a great one-on-one player will do. He gave Billy Cunningham a fake to the right and went left and had the easy layup.
11-point lead by the East. They have the ball. They're in the white uniforms. This is Billy Cunningham. Gus Johnson. That's Joe Caldwell.
Second quarter, Chris, the West have been going to the boards, and as a result have been getting the rebounds, getting the ball out, and they're right back in this ball game.
That's Willis Reed of the New York Knickerbockers. And number 18, John McLaughlin.
There was an example of how Will Chamberlain intimidates you in there. McLaughlin going up for the jump shot, saw Wilt, and walked with the ball.
All right. So with 5:34 remaining in the second quarter, 48-37. All right. Chet, I think we'll be all right. They'll be out here by the time we get ready to go.
Oh, here they come out. Hey, Chet. Chet, Walter is here. What time do you think we'll go back on? He wants to know for the halftime. Yeah. Walter says he'll hold it till 10. Chet.
39-29.
Walter says he will hold it until 10 o'clock. We'll start at 10 straight up. 10 o'clock. He said that's all. He'll cooperate, Chet. He's very cooperative.
Yes. All right.
I don't know. Let me... Hey, Chet. Chet. What?
All right. This is more action on videotape in the second quarter of the NBA All-Star game, with the East leading 54-43. They led at the end of the first quarter, 35-19, as we look at Baltimore's Earl Monroe, a native of Philadelphia, from Winston-Salem College, and it's 55-43. This is the West bringing up the ball. Gail Goodrich, who replaced Jerry West, who was unable to fulfill his All-Star role because of a groin injury.
And of course, Oscar Robertson intentionally fouled Goodrich there. The East, having a few fouls to waste, are going to foul them to give them one shot with an opportunity of getting two when they get possession of the ball.
Goodrich, shortest man on the rosters here tonight at 6'1", perfect at the line. As we look to the far side, a very deadly shooter. High scorer thus far in the ball game, Oscar Robertson. He gave to Bill Russell. Russell quickly to Monroe, back to the coach of the Celtics. And his player, John Havlicek. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, all right.
Chet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. How much time do we have now till 10?
Minute to come back with us.
You want to go through that one again, pal? You were pretty fast there, Columbia. Chad, give me a quick rundown again. You were so fast that I missed.
They're coming to us right away.
Who's that talking? That sounded like Rune. Yeah. All right. Very good. Right. Right.
You got it?
All right. anybody throw it to us, or we, you know, from New York or anything like that, or is it just a clean take? And it's halftime here in the neighboring city of Baltimore on Chesapeake Bay of the NBA All-Star Game, as the West has cut the lead has cut the margin of trailing by 7 points, whereas at the end of the first quarter they trailed by 16. So at halftime it is 60 to 50, 60 to 53. I'm Chris Schenkel, welcoming you back live and in color to the 19th annual NBA All-Star Game. Happy to be here with my colleague Jack Twyman.
Chris, it was a great second quarter on the part of the West. As you mentioned, they were behind 35 to 19 at the quarter. And in the second quarter, Wilt Chamberlain was a tower of strength. On defense, he got the rebounds for the West, was the catalyst on the